everyone, today something exciting has happened. My favorite band released a new album and I am full of happiness and joy right now, so let's talk about it. Also, this is cold tea I'm drinking because it went cold because I was too excited. In the spring/summer of 2011, I was sitting in my room just graduating from high school and whatnot, and I was doing something on my computer, sitting at my desk, had music on in the background from Atrix.com, as I did, and all of a sudden a song came on. I stopped everything that I was doing because within the first few bars, something just resonated with me that I couldn't describe. Still can't, apparently. That song was Technofan by the Wombats, and this will forever, no matter what, still be my favorite song by them because of that moment, and every moment since I've ever listened to it. Once the song had ended, I replayed it a few times, as you do, and I went and started investigating this band. At that point in time, they had already released 2 of their albums and were in the process of making their 3rd. So I had 2 albums to go through. Easy peasy. The first album they ever released was The Wombats Proudly Presents A Guide to Love, Loss, and Desperation. This album, for me, morphed into their 2nd album, Modern Glitch, because I listened to them back to back, and I pretty much would not play one album, I would play both albums, to where I do know almost every song in order. Like, if I hear a random song, I automatically, in my head, think of the next song, and if it's on shuffle, it kind of makes me mad, because I'm like, that's not the song I wanted, but then I'm happy because I love the new song that comes on next. After a month of listening to them on and off in 2011, they became my favorite band and have continued to be my favorite band ever since. The main thing that sticks out to me about the Wombats is that, for me, I love every single song. There is not a song that I can say I don't like, whereas in most albums, there's at least one song you're just like, skip. Since then, they've released a few singles up until their new album, Glitterbug, in 2015. And with every single, I was there the next day or whatnot to listen to it and jam out, as you do on toast. About halfway through, they released their first single, which was Your Body Is a Weapon. And they released it with a really, it was like a cartoon music video that was very weird. And the first time I watched it, I was just like, what? And by the 3rd time I watched it, I'm like, yes. About 2 years later, they started issuing out their singles, which were closer to the actual date of the release of the album. This included Greek Tragedy and Give Me a Try. And these songs still to this day resonate with me because it was that flip into what Glitterbug turned into. Glitterbug to me is my favorite album of all time, and I don't know if this will ever change because I think it is a perfectly blended mix of emotions. You start out really high with Emoticons and Great Tragedy and Give Me a Try, and then after a little bit you just stop and there's Isabel. It's a song that resonates in a way of being somewhere that almost sucks the life out of you, but you're okay with it. And for a long time that almost felt like how I was feeling in life. It's just a very powerful and motivating and still yet destructive song. And it forever just holds a little piece of what I am. And then after this random interlude, it just pops back into life. You have songs like Your Body Is a Weapon, you have English Summer, love it, you have Pink Lemonade, and then it just slowly kind of tickles down a little bit lower, and then it ends. And to me, this album just speaks volumes as to the complexities of life and relationships and situations. First time I ever got to see them was on their Glitterbug tour, and I drove out to Lawrence, Kansas in order to see them. Now, Lawrence is about a 3 to 4 hour drive from where I live, so it's not too far, but it's a decent amount that you wish that there was someplace slightly closer, but it worked. I remember getting there and I was kind of like an anxiously excited person. It's my favorite band. I've loved this band for 4 years. What's it gonna be like? And it was everything I could have imagined and more. It was absolutely brilliant. And I remember whenever Technofan came on, and that's just brings it home to where whenever I fell in love. And it's just this euphoric moment of bliss. Also at this Lawrence, Kansas show is whenever I bought my first band t-shirt and my only band t-shirt. And yes, I wear it proudly. A little bit later, they did another round of a US tour, and I got to see them in the intimate venue of the Duck Room in St. Louis. Now this show is actually, I think, supposed to be in September, and it got delayed to December, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was this show. And it's in the basement slash back room of a pub-ish place in St. Louis with low ceilings, like no air whatsoever. And it was magical. I also managed to somehow get to see them again at the Ready Room in St. Louis whenever I was actually living there. That was a night. I didn't enjoy that venue at all, but I was 100% dancing my heart out because, let's be real, that's what I do. That brings me to this new album, which is Beautiful People Will Ruin Your Life. And whenever this title came out, I was just like, that's interesting. Like, all their promo for it, it intrigued me, but it didn't entice me like Glitterbug had. But at the same point, I was still digging it. And they started issuing out their singles. There was Lemon to a Knife Fight, Turn, and Cheetah Tongue. And Cheetah Tongue happened to come out about 2 days before I got to see them in Kansas City last month at the Truman, which is a beautiful venue, by the way. I was not expecting that. This is also the first time I had ever seen them by myself, so I went and ended up getting in the middle of the crowd and danced and sung my little heart out and talked to some random strangers. It was fantastic. But what I could tell is that this album had almost a hypnotic element to it, and it's almost like you just kind of automatically start swaying whenever you listen to it, which leads me to this morning whenever I woke up and had the chance to actually listen to the full album, which I started in the shower and have since listened to 4 times before noon. The thing I'm really loving about this album is that it's almost put me in a kind of hypnotic trance in which every time that I listen through it, I hear something new. I started getting the surprises of the new songs and the elements that was like Elizabeth, which is the lethal combination in this song, and that track just makes you stop and think. And I won't lie, whenever it got to I Always Wear Black, I might have started crying. Maybe. What this album so far has taught me is that I have an undying, unwielding love for the Wombats, and this probably will not ever end, and I'm okay with it. It also just brought me so much joy. I've been really happy ever since I first turned it on, and it's a good day. Tell me down below what sort of music or albums have done this to you and why, because I'm up for new music. Also, this is just, I feel good. So I hope you've all had a wonderfully fantastic day, and I will see you on the next one. Bye everyone.